I'm sure you know Captain America, but what about Captain Australia? There's been multiple sightings of a masked superhero wandering the streets of Brisbane of late. But who is this mysterious man? Is he a hero or just some silly delusional loser with too much spare time on his hands? I've made it my mission to get to the bottom of things, so stay tuned as I uncover the truth and unmask the man who calls himself Captain Australia. So it turns out his real name is Simon, and he's often seen walking around the city, and he says that it's in preparation for what he calls the Big Walk. And this Big Walk will have him walking by himself, unsupported, without any help, sleeping rough from Brisbane all the way down to Melbourne. That's almost 2,000 kilometers. What would possess a man to walk 2,000 kilometers in the Australian heat? He's going to be starting out on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. Let me tell you, it is hot as hell at that time of year in Australia. So why would he do this?
What is the Big Walk, you ask? That is me walking from Brisbane to Melbourne at the end of the month for the Kids Cancer Project. So it's a charity focused on research into paediatric cancers. I'm unaffected by paediatric cancer myself, but as a survivor I can completely relate to the crippling effects that cancer inflicts onto a life, and no child should have to endure that. So that's my mission, that's my purpose. The Big Walk is also for my own personal healing. So in being affected by cancer, I was crippled by it, wrecked, and I just could not bounce back. And I realized that a pilgrimage, getting back in tune with nature, taking a long walk like I did when I was a child, long story, but that would help me to heal. And I was right, and I'm so much better now. Gone from a place of being broken to finding personal strength, and I don't know if dignity is quite the right word given the situation, but I feel capable of dealing with almost any adversity at this point. And that's an important message of what I'm trying to do as well. So I want to show you, or anybody in your life that needs to hear it, that a broken life can be fixed. And I'm a concrete example of that. So from the darkest possible, grimmest possible place, we can lift ourselves up. And we can find ways to move forward. And the Big Walk is really just a metaphor for that. So I'm just taking a little walk with the big flag up in the hopes that people will see it, see that it's a worthwhile cause. I will earn, at least to some extent, their regard. And, hopefully the charity will benefit from that.
The more we talked, the more I discovered that Captain Australia's reason for doing the Big Walk actually goes a little bit deeper than that. Here's what he had to say about it.
So help a charity, that's great. And it started just with helping myself. So I left home when I was very young, 15 years old. My mother was a heroin addict, and father was out of the scene. He split when I was very little. And it was just a dark situation, and I had to escape it. And when I did, my grandmother lived in Sydney, and I just walked from Brisbane to Sydney. And it was over a span of like 30 days, sleeping under bridges, wherever. Got caught in weather a couple of times, but it was an adventure. And it brought hope up in me where I had none. And it was hope after darkness. It was healing after pain. And that's what inspired the Big Walk initially. The fact that I needed to recreate that sensation. I'd all but forgotten it. And I just had this little echo, this muscle memory of hope. So I applied that and started to get better immediately.
I also wondered why the superhero outfit.
The idea of that superhero up concept now, it's not superhero up and fight crime. It's about doing something bold, something significant, and it's about being sort of righteous and helpful, trying to fix a wrong. And I think the fact that kids get cancer is an egregious wrong. It's just messed up. It offends me at some fundamental level that it's just wrong. But at the end of the day, when I did it, for me it was for fun, and it was to make a statement, two statements. A, that we can all do something weird, wacky, wonderful, inject that into the world, and it's okay, and it can make the world more flamboyant and strange. And also that ethics and values that you might dismiss as comic book shouldn't have to be. Every dimension where it could go wrong is more exciting to me than frightening or a concern. Anything that happens to my detriment during the trip that doesn't kill me, it's kind of I can weave that into the story, which is, there's a legacy to that. I get to give it to my children, but there's a benefit to the charity as well. So if I get bitten by a dingo and survive and somehow manage to capture it on camera, and then the public are like, I'm screaming like a 12-year-old girl and it's funny. So it gets spread across the internet. Suddenly there's 120,000 people coming in to look at it. 12 of them click on the link and donate $100 to the charity. Great. So that it was worth it to get bitten by a dingo, and I had an adventure, and I'm excited by the adventure of it. At this point, the main thing is achieving a level of public awareness. Yeah. So, I'm asking people, in essence, to look at me and then look past me at the cause that I'm working to support. And in that, not everyone will have the means to donate to the charity, but everybody has an Aunt Gladys who's cashed up, and it's really just about that chain letter effect of it. So if somebody wanted to help, sharing, if they see that I've done something funny or said something worthwhile, or they see merit in the overall mission and quest of what I'm doing, then it's telling other people about it. And we had an idea for people being able to do that in a fun way, and it was called Superhero Up for Science. And the idea was that you do exactly what I've done. You make a superhero identity, funny, serious, all bells and whistles, or just a towel around the neck and your underpants on the outside. Like, it doesn't really matter but what you want to do with it. But the idea was to have some fun. And when you do it, you make a little video and you talk about your superhero character, the powers they have, and that you support Captain Australia's Big Walk. So it's like, I'm Laser Lad, and my superpower is shooting lasers from my eyes, and I support Captain Australia's Big Walk. And you do this sort of buffhead video with your superhero character, but you link to the charity in there, or at Cap's Big Walk, the Facebook page, and that just guides people in. So it's really just about getting that word out. That's the best and greatest thing that you could do at this point. Yeah. For me, the most important and fundamental message of what I'm doing is hope. It's hope of my own personal healing, hope that can give meaning to people out there in the world, and then hope that we as a society can also get rid of pediatric cancer. Hope.
I think that there's a little bit of madness in what he's doing, but I think the world needs that kind of madness. And to me, he is definitely one of my heroes, and I feel privileged to have actually met him in real life. So that's where I sit. I don't know about you, let me know in the comments. This channel is all about things relating to Brisbane. Captain America is a Brisbane hero in my books. But if you want to see more about this city, uncover more, if you live here or you're planning to travel here, definitely hit subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. Give the video a thumbs up, it does help me, and I will see you in the next video. Maybe you could check this one out also while you're on the channel. Maybe interesting to you. Maybe not. Check out one of the other ones. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. See ya.